moments that defy explanation. Shadowy figures, headless shapes, and encounters so strange they leave even the bravest stunned. These clips show the unexplainable in its purest, most unsettling form. Late at night, a biker rode down what seemed like an empty road when he noticed a figure following him. It moved in a way that didn't seem natural, its body appearing badly decayed, yet it kept pace, even as the biker accelerated. His riding partner, less shaken but cautious, managed to get a clearer view and recorded the figure on camera before they finally sped away. Despite their escape, the figure remained close for longer than expected, leaving them uncertain whether it had intended to harm them or was merely observing them as they moved through its space. Living room ghost. This video didn't spread because of golf practice. It spread because of what happened moments later. A woman was lining up her shot inside her home when the door behind her slowly opened on its own. No one touched it. There was no sound of footsteps. No sign of someone entering. The couple called out, expecting a reply. Her partner walked down the hallway to check, but no one was there. Then the chair slid across the floor by itself. You can hear the panic in their voices as they realize this isn't normal. Viewers believe something unseen walked into that room and made its presence known. Two mirrors horror. Most people have heard the warning about placing two mirrors across from each other. One man ignored it. In his room, two mirrors faced one another, creating an endless reflection. One day, he noticed something in the dresser mirror that wasn't actually in the room. Too afraid to step inside, he stayed in the doorway and started recording. In the reflection, a dark face appeared, framed by long, tangled hair. It wasn't standing where any person should have been. The figure seemed to stare directly back through the mirror. The man believed he had captured something demonic. Do you agree with him? Comment below. Disappearing woman. An old belief holds that certain unseen beings can appear as alluring women to draw people in, and some viewers said this CCTV clip seemed to match that idea. A woman entered a shop, her appearance almost too perfect, her movements slightly off, and she smiled at the man behind the counter in a way that felt unsettling rather than genuine. Moments later, she suddenly dropped to the floor, and when the footage was replayed, the woman had vanished. In her place, a cat stood where she had fallen, leaving viewers uneasy and questioning exactly what they had just witnessed. Kitchen shadow.
No, amigo, ¿qué mierda es eso, boludo?
A man was home alone when a strange noise woke him in the middle of the night. He followed it through the house and froze when he saw a dark shadow standing in his kitchen, just staring at him. The moment he tried to approach it, the figure vanished. Things only got worse. Objects around the house began shifting on their own, some falling to the floor without explanation.
No, boludo, no.
When he pulled back the curtains to check outside, right behind him, the shadow appeared again. But when he turned around, nothing was there. By then, it was clear. Something was haunting his house, and it wasn't friendly.
No, amigo, no.
Behind the curtain. During a live video, a woman noticed her curtain shift slightly behind her. At first, she thought it was just a breeze. Then it moved violently, as though something inside had pushed it outward. She was home alone. As soon as she saw it, she ran to her room and locked the door. Viewers watching the live video said a locked door wouldn't matter. If something could move a curtain like that, it probably didn't care about boundaries. Mysterious ghost video. You won't believe what happened when a man bought a second-hand rocking chair from a garage sale. A few days later, it began moving by itself. At first, he laughed it off. Then he noticed something worse. The TV in front of the chair reflected a small figure sitting in it, child-sized, like a doll. He had thrown away the creepy doll that came with the chair, but viewers said the spirit hadn't left. Whatever was rocking the chair still wanted to be seen. Something responds back.
Doesn't really like it when you whistle.
A man moved into a new house with his family and noticed strange things happening almost immediately. At first, he got used to minor oddities, but then he realized the ghost reacted to his whistling. One time, he whistled and the kitchen cabinet flung open by itself. He closed it. It opened again. Later, banging noises led him to the cat room, where the cat swing was moving on its own.
Damn that. Who are you? Get the out of here.
Videos also showed lights flicking, windows rattling, and even hands appearing with no body attached. Whatever was there seemed to be growing stronger.
You gotta go.
Faceless lady. A group of friends explored an abandoned building, filming their late-night adventure. As they reached the emergency staircase, something caught their eyes. They huddled together, peeking through a doorway, and froze. Standing on the stairs was a long-haired woman in a white robe. The shaky footage made it hard to see, but her face was completely black, almost non-existent. Panic surged through the group, and they bolted out without looking back. People online were left asking themselves, was this truly the ghost of a faceless lady, or just an illusion of shadows and fear? Abandoned hospital. This guy went exploring an abandoned hospital, which already felt like a bad idea. As he walked down one floor, he saw a man in a hospital gown turn the corner. He followed him into the hallway.
Hey, what's up?
And there was no one there. The place was completely empty. Then he saw a face peeking through the glass window of a door and panicked. He ran into a room that turned out to be the morgue. He opened one freezer and saw a pair of discolored feet. He ran. Later, he came back to check, and the freezer was empty. It felt like something was playing with him. Factory haunting. An explorer and his friends entered an abandoned factory, its walls crumbling and floors littered with debris, and immediately felt a sense of unease that only grew as they wandered through the broken halls. As he looked up, he froze. Standing atop a massive, rusted tank was a woman, unnaturally pale, staring down at them. Panic surged through him, but the terror wasn't over. When he swung his flashlight to the side, a man's face suddenly appeared right beside him, startling him so badly he almost dropped the light. He spun it around again, but the figure had vanished, leaving only shadows behind. Floating hair.
Is that you?
A store manager heard unusual noises coming from his shop after hours and decided to set up a camera to capture everything. The CCTV footage clearly showed that every aisle was empty, and he explained that this wasn't the first time something strange had occurred.
I'm here by myself. Nobody's here. It's just me.
Later, he went inside to investigate himself, and as he reached the far end of the store, something startled him, causing him to step back abruptly.
Oh! Oh, shit.
Upon reviewing the footage afterward, viewers noticed a strange detail. A small section of his hair lifted upward on its own, with no one else present and no visible cause for the movement.
Look, you see that? You see that?
Invisible force. A security camera inside a warehouse caught something impossible. A worker was finishing his night shift when everything seemed normal. Then, without warning, boxes began toppling from the shelves. The worker jumped back, visibly shaken. The real terror came next. It appeared as though an invisible force grabbed his foot and started dragging him across the floor. No one else was around, and the camera showed nothing touching him. Later, he described feeling an ice-cold hand wrap around his ankle. He admitted strange things often happened in that warehouse, but this was the first time he felt its presence physically. Shadow visitor. A homeowner's camera caught something strange in her living room. Near the door, a shadowy figure appeared. Then the impossible happened. It passed straight through the closed glass door. You could see its reflection on the glass. And still it moved right through, like the door wasn't even there. Its shape wasn't clear. At first, it looked like a dog, but when she looked again, it wasn't. The woman believed it was her dog's ghost. Her pet had passed away recently, and somehow it had returned for one last visit. Shifting figure. CCTV footage dated January 15th, 2026 captured a bizarre moment on an otherwise quiet street in Arlington, Texas. Late at night, with no cars or pedestrians in sight, a man suddenly appeared in front of the camera and dropped to the ground. Within seconds, the figure began changing form, transforming into what appeared to be an animal right there on the street. When the clip circulated online, viewers argued about what they had seen, some insisting it was a rare or unknown creature, while others believed it showed something capable of shifting between human and animal forms without being noticed. Empty laughter.
On everything I love, I just heard a group of kids over here laughing.
A security guard working the night shift at a large shopping mall believed he was completely alone until he heard laughter echoing through the empty halls. It wasn't just one voice, it sounded like a group of children laughing somewhere in the distance.
You hear that shit? What the f? Bro, I'm in the mall by myself.
Confused and unsettled, but the long-standing rumors about the mall's past made the situation even more unnerving. Down one corridor, he spotted a lone figure standing still far away, and that single moment was enough to convince him to leave immediately, abandoning his shift entirely.
That? Staring right at me. Right there.
Unsettling footage.
Every time I turn off the light, there's like a shadow there. Watch. You see that?
A man who was home alone noticed something unsettling in one of his rooms. A tall, shadowy figure appeared, but only when the lights were off. The second he switched the light on, the figure vanished. When darkness returned, it reappeared, standing perfectly still.
What the?
Its shape was unnervingly clear, too distinct to be dismissed as a trick of the eye. Some suggested it was just shadows playing games, but its precision made that hard to believe. Whatever it was, it only came out in the dark.
Hell no. What the f? Dude, I'm out of here.
Mysterious swing video.
Satanás, ¿eres tú?
A group of friends decided to check out a playground rumored to be haunted. One of them sat on a swing while the others filmed. At first, nothing seemed unusual. Then, when he stood up, the swing shot backward as if something invisible had shoved it. There was no wind, and no one else was nearby. He froze for a moment before running off. The push didn't look natural, and his reaction made it clear something unexplained had just happened.
Te reto a que... Mira.
Office shadow. Late at night, inside a quiet workplace, a man was casually speaking to a coworker when something unusual appeared behind the employee he was facing. A small, dark silhouette sprinted past, moving too fast to track. and the man instinctively pointed at it, visibly shaken by what he had just witnessed. When his co-worker turned to see what he was pointing at, there was nothing there at all. The figure had completely disappeared.
Oye, 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 en la cámara, oye, en la cámara acaba de pasar ahorita una niña corriendo. Oye, la niña que llora. Oye, te juro que...
People watching the footage later became convinced this was not a trick of the light, and many concluded that the office itself might be haunted, and that these two men had accidentally captured a ghost racing across the background. Face at the window. A family reviewing their CCTV noticed something strange. While one of them sat on the couch, a face appeared at the window, staring inside. It looked distorted, unnatural, and the window was too high for anyone to reach from the ground. The homeowner went outside to show just how far off the ground the window was. That's when the camera revealed something worse, a pair of discolored feet on the stairs. Right next to him, he hadn't seen them, but viewers did. People started saying the house could be haunted. Store mist. This CCTV camera in a store captured something unsettling after closing time. Workers were cleaning when the lockers along the wall started moving on their own. No one touched them. Then a white mist appeared. It didn't drift randomly. It slowly moved across the room, passed straight through a dividing wall, and reappeared on the other side as if the wall didn't exist. People replayed the clip, trying to find an explanation, but nothing fit. Most agreed the store was haunted, and that mist was the presence behind everything. Ghost pulls hair? In this unsettling clip, a female employee was working at her desk when her hair suddenly moved on its own. She looked around, confused, but no one was there. The camera caught it clearly. Her hair shifted like something invisible had touched it. After the video circulated, other employees shared similar experiences. Strange touches, whispers, objects moving. The office wasn't empty at night. Something unseen was still there. Fading figure. A guard monitoring street cameras spotted something unusual and called over his colleague. On the screen, a shadowy humanoid figure slowly crossed the street. Step by step, it became transparent until it vanished completely. The guards just stared. They couldn't explain what they saw. Some viewers called it a shadow person. Others thought it might be feeding off energy, looking for someone to attach to. Either way, it didn't walk like a normal person, and it didn't disappear like one either. Creepy glitch or ghost. This old video from Germany's early 90s surfaced online and caught viewers' attention. During a religious ceremony, a boy walked in front of the camera, and the candles behind him seemed to glow right through him, frame by frame. It looked like he wasn't solid at all. The footage is old, raw, and unedited. People watching became convinced this boy wasn't just part of the crowd. Many believed he was a ghost captured on camera during a real event. Glowing figure. A surveillance camera outside a factory recorded something unusual in the parking lot. The guard sent a man to check, but when he arrived, nothing was there. On the screen, however, a faintly glowing figure stood just inches away. The man couldn't see it and walked off. Confused, the figure remained, moving slowly and glowing. Then a truck's headlights hit it, and it disappeared as if the light erased it. People argued about what it could be. A ghost, an angel, or something else entirely. Whatever it was, the camera captured what the human eye couldn't. Haunted cart. You won't believe what happened in this grocery store. A man was shopping when a cart suddenly started rolling down the aisle on its own. No one touched it. It moved directly toward him, steering around obstacles as if guided by an unseen force. At the last second, he stepped out of the way.
¿Eso es bajada? No. Mira, 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 mira.
People first thought it was a coincidence, but watching it closely, the movement seemed intentional, almost like the cart was aiming for him. That's what made the clip so unsettling. Floating mist. This homeowner heard a crash outside at night and checked the front yard camera. The footage showed a dark, floating mist moving through the yard. Moments later, a bowl was thrown to the ground, startling the cat nearby. There was no wind. No one else was around. Nothing else moved. Viewers concluded the black shape must have caused it. A spirit in broad daylight. Rare, but the footage left little room for doubt. Silent figure. A man noticed a robed figure standing outside his house. It didn't move. It just watched. He grabbed his phone and approached. The figure stayed completely still, facing him. He even asked why it was there. No response. Nothing. Then he stepped outside, and it disappeared. The street was empty. He panned the camera everywhere. There was nowhere it could have gone that fast. He later said the figure had been showing up for a week. People started saying it had attached itself to him, and it wasn't leaving. Night bus encounter. A bus driver was finishing his last run of the night, dropping off the final passengers. Or at least he thought he was alone. Then he heard a voice behind him, calm, clear. It said it gets off at the corner. He froze, checked the seats. Nothing. No one was standing. No reflections in the mirrors. The bus was completely empty. But something had spoken. People watching said it wasn't human, because whatever talks to you from an empty bus at night isn't supposed to be there. Restaurant haunting. A CCTV camera inside a fast food restaurant captured something terrifying. It was closing time. The last employee was finishing up when, suddenly, he was dragged across the floor by an invisible force. No one else was around. You could see him reaching for anything nearby, panicked, struggling to escape. Later, people said the restaurant had been built over an old cemetery, and the spirits buried there didn't like visitors. Watching the clip, it was clear something didn't want him there, and it made sure he knew it. Hostel shadow. A CCTV camera in a girls' hostel recorded an incident no one could explain. A woman came out of her room to wash her hands, and as she walked away, she stumbled forward, as if someone had shoved her. At first, people thought she tripped, but the video shows a distinct push. She turned around, confused, like she knew someone or something was behind her. The story goes that a girl had died tragically in that hostel years ago. Since then, anyone leaving their room late at night had strange encounters. The halls were never empty anymore. Haunted classroom. This footage came from a school classroom in Bolivia. A student was giving a presentation while the teacher recorded when a chart suddenly slipped off the board. The student put it back, thinking it was nothing. A few minutes later, the trash bin slid across the floor on its own. Then a heavy table slowly moved forward, as if something had pushed it. Finally, an object flew off the table and hit the ground, right in front of the camera. The kids screamed and ran. The school was old, and rumors about the spirits of former students had always circulated. After this video, nobody laughed at those stories anymore. Who's driving? A shocking incident happened in Karachi, Pakistan. Locals recorded a red line bus moving down the road with no driver. No one was in the front seat. No passengers inside either. The bus kept going, following its route as if on autopilot. People stood frozen, too scared to approach. So what was driving it? A ghost? Or just a perfect camera angle hiding the driver? The video went viral because the bus really looked empty. Watching a full-size bus move on its own, it left a lot of people unsettled. Watching shadow. Something had been haunting a woman's home for weeks, but she never had proof until one night. Even her neighbor saw it. A black shadow stood just beyond the porch, completely still. The neighbor froze, staring, trying to make sense of what he was seeing. It didn't move. It didn't even look like a person, just a dark figure, standing, watching. He later said he felt an intense mix of fear and confusion. Whatever it was, it didn't run or disappear. It stayed, silent, observing. If multiple people could see it, then it wasn't imagination anymore. So what was there in the dark? And why was it watching? Dark blur. Two girls were filming themselves having fun when everything changed. Out of nowhere, a dark shape darted across the camera. It was fast, just a blur, but it froze both girls in place. They scrambled inside, shaken, unable to explain what they had just seen. When the video surfaced, people debated. Some thought it was a local spirit, upset by intruders. Others said it was just a bug too close to the lens. But the blur didn't behave like a bug. It looked upright, almost humanoid, big, dark, and in that moment, impossible to ignore. Subtle shift. While watching live TV, a man noticed something strange in the middle of a news report. The reporter's eyes seemed to shift, subtly but undeniably, in a way that made him pause.
What is going on, man?
He quickly recorded the screen, and upon replaying the clip, the movement was undeniable.
What? What's wrong with him?
The reporter continued speaking, completely unaware of what had just happened, and the moment left viewers uneasy because it suggested something beyond the ordinary might be happening, something that was watching, present, and difficult to explain. Forest figure. A driver was passing along a narrow forest road in Indonesia when something unusual appeared on his dashcam. From a side path among the trees, a tall figure dressed in dark clothing stepped into view. Thinking someone might need help,
Oh my god! What are you doing?
the driver slowed and came to a stop. But as the figure turned toward the car, it was immediately clear this was no ordinary person. The face looked unnatural, almost as if painted or masked, and the body was larger than expected. Cradled in its arms was something small, either a child or a doll. Just as the figure faced the windshield, the recording abruptly cut off, leaving the rest of the encounter unknown and unresolved.
Oh my god! What are you doing?
Swinging sign. Late at night, a passerby filmed a store that was clearly closed, its lights off and the interior quiet and still, yet something about the scene felt off. The closed sign on the glass door kept swinging back and forth, striking the door repeatedly, as if an unseen hand inside was pushing it. There was no one inside the store. People who watched the clip online immediately felt uneasy, and it became even more unsettling when the store owner later confirmed this had happened multiple times before. After hearing that, many concluded that something invisible was still moving within the empty store. Roadside ritual. On a quiet road near Kuala Terengganu, Malaysia, a driver came across a strange and unsettling sight late at night. A small group of people dressed in white stood gathered around a fire at the roadside, appearing to perform some kind of ritual. As he slowly passed them, the group suddenly ran toward his car without warning. Causing him to accelerate and speed away as fast as possible. Even in his rearview mirror, he could see them still circling the fire, their voices echoing faintly into the darkness, leaving him shaken and unsure what he had just witnessed. Stranger who vanished.
Don't step off the trail.
A hiker in Texas was filming his walk through a quiet trail when another man approached from the opposite direction. As they passed, the stranger gave him a warning. Don't step off the trail. The message was normal, but the tone made it sound serious. The hiker turned around almost immediately. The trail behind him was empty. The man was gone. No place where someone could have hidden. He had vanished in seconds. People who saw the clip couldn't explain it. Some believe the stranger was an angel. Others said it was the spirit of a hiker who might have passed away after stepping off the trail.
Don't step off the trail.
That doll is possessed.
Yeah, I didn't go in with any eyeshadow because I didn't want...
What started as a harmless makeup video took a disturbing turn. A girl was filming herself while sitting next to her doll, smiling for the camera, when the doll's head slowly turned on its own. Its eyes shifted and locked onto her face. You can see the shock hit instantly, like her mind couldn't catch up to what she just witnessed. Later, her sister said the doll had never done anything like that before. They had picked it up from a second-hand store, which only made the situation feel darker. People who watched the clip believed something had attached itself to the doll.
Right now, but yeah, I didn't go in with any eyeshadow because I didn't want... Do you guys see that?
Eyes in the back seat.
No way. Someone's sitting there?
While shopping, the man looked back at his car and noticed something that hadn't been there before. In the back seat, two faint, shiny eyes stared back at him through the window. Whatever was inside the car lowered itself, slipping out of view behind the steering wheel. He is convinced he captured something that shouldn't have been there.
Dude, it's moving. Oh my god.
Today's subscriber's pick of the day. On a stormy night near Tupelo, Mississippi, a driver was navigating through sheets of heavy rain when something unusual appeared in the distance. On the back of a pickup truck, he saw a figure standing unnaturally tall, completely motionless and with no visible head, looming above the truck bed like it had been placed there deliberately to be noticed. The sight felt menacing, as if it carried an unspoken warning.